today's discussion is focused on three very important topics which are likely to shape the future of work for all of us.
मुझे इस पर्टिकुलर जो इवेंट है Y20 कंसल्टेशन एक यूनिक इनिशिएटिव है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का, और धन्यवाद भी देते हैं कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी का कि उन्होंने इस यूथ आइकॉन को सपोर्ट करने के लिए, उनको इस तरह का कंसल्टेशन कॉन्फ्रेंस में इंटरेस्ट जगाने के लिए और यहाँ पे कुछ सीखने के लिए और उसको नीचे जाके ग्राउंड लेवल इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए, मोटिवेट करने के लिए 5,000 रुपीज का एक स्कॉलरशिप आप कह लीजिएगा, एक अनुदान राशि कह लीजिएगा, एक सहायता राशि कह लीजिएगा, एक सम्मान राशि कह लीजिएगा, वो माननीय मुख्यमंत्री ने दिया हुआ है।
Today, we have a distinguished panel of experts who will be sharing their insights and experiences on the intersection of health, well-being, and sports under the topic Future of Health. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought into sharp focus the importance of physical and mental health and how it impacts our daily lives. Our panelists come from diverse backgrounds and bring a wealth of knowledge and expertise to this discussion. The moderator of today's first panel discussion is Professor Santosh Mishra. Professor Santosh Kumar Mishra is an assistant professor at the Department of Biological Sciences and Bioengineering Department, IIT Kanpur. He has graduated from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and did postdoctoral research associate training at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA. He's a recipient of the prestigious Rama Lingaswamy Fellowship from the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, and Professor T.R. Vishwanathan Young Faculty Fellowship in Teaching Excellence from IIT Kanpur. His research interests are personalized medicine, nanotherapeutics, sports medicine, etc. I would now like to invite moderator Professor Santosh Kumar Mishra to kindly come up on the stage and introduce the panelists.
Thank you, Ms. Kumar, for introducing me to the audience. I welcome you all on behalf of IIT Kanpur community, as well as Y20, which is associated with G20 from Government of India. Today, we have a range of expertise for this particular panel. I'll start inviting one by one to them on this dais. So let me introduce you to Professor Arun Kumar Shukla, who is professor at the Department of Biological Sciences and Bioengineering, IIT Kanpur. He is known for his studies on gene-protein coupled receptors. Professor Shukla is a Wellcome Trust DBT Intermediate Fellow and recipient of the Swan Jayanti Fellowship from the Department of Science and Technology. The Department of Biotechnology of the Government of India also awarded him the National Biosciences Award for Career Development. And 2021, he received Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Prize for Science and Technology in Biological Sciences from Government of India. So let's give a big round of applause for Professor Shukla. Now, I would like you to introduce to Dr. Aniruddha Joshi. He is a founder and CEO of Atreya Innovations with the vision of providing the most personal, predictive, and non-invasive health monitor based on data science-driven Ayurveda. His venture received the National Startup Award in 2021 in the Ayush category. A special mention in Man Ki Baat by Honorable PM Modi ji. Added to this, Atreya received the Excellence in IT Award by Ministry of Ayush and DSIR recognition for the in-house R&D of this indigenous value. So let's welcome Dr. Joshi. Now I'll call upon Dr. Neeti Kumar, who is Senior Scientist in Division of Molecular Microbiology and Immunology at CDRI, Lucknow. which is one of the best CSIR institutes in country. She is recipient of Swan Jayanti Fellowship and Women Excellence Award. Her research group is trying to understand critical quality control pathways in human malaria parasite as alternative sites of malaria intervention. They also participate in national and international open source drug discovery initiatives. Recently, her lab has also participated in capacity building for indigenous fluorophores, quenchers, oligonucleotide conjugates for research applications and RT-PCR-based clinical diagnostics. Added to that, she is a trained sports person in badminton category. So let's welcome Dr. Kumar. Now, I'll introduce Mr. Rahul Patel, who is co-founder of Primary Health Tech, a next-gen affordable, accessible, and predictive diagnostic company having R&D office at different IITs. So, Mr. Patel. Now, last but not the least, Professor A. Thiagarajan, who is professor and head of Department of Arthroscopy and Sports Medicine at Sri Ramachandra Medical College and Research Institute in Chennai. He is also a consultant in Sports Medicine Center for Sports Sciences. So let's welcome Dr. Thiagarajan.
Check.
Okay, so now I'll take my seat so that we can start the conversation. So I hope it will be engaging, and the format is first 45 minutes, I'll try to engage panelists with different kind of questions, and another half of 45 minutes will be with the audience. So you can prepare your questions while we are having our conversation, and then you'll be given a chance. You can raise your hand. Somebody will approach you with mic, and you say your question. Try to keep it as short as possible so that many of your friends, fellows can get a chance to ask questions. Okay, so see you there. Okay, so now we formally start this session. Now, as we know that we are doing this panel discussion under umbrella of G20 and the specific category of Y20 Consultation. Now, the overall theme for India has always been Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now, it comes from Ayam Nizam Paroveti Gadana Laguchet Sam Udar Charitanantu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It says it in very few words, the crux of the story, which is one planet, one human, and all of us. Now, because all our panelists are from different fields, they have seen what is going on in this world, where we have reached, what are the scopes. They'll be able to tell us in few words. I'll be asking them to keep their first round answer in 3 to 4 minutes so that all of them can get enough time to say words, and then we move ahead in the panel. So first of all, I want to know what they think that some of the best things our world as a family has achieved through the expertise they also share with. So I'll request first Professor Shukla to say a few words about his field, what are the discoveries in his field currently, where we are, and where we are heading to. And then I'll move to other panelists. So Professor Shukla.
Thank you very much, Santosh. Let me start by saying that it's a distinct pleasure to be a part of this panel discussion. And it's a wonderful sight to see such a large number of youngsters sitting here in the audience. It's such a pretty sight. I'm a professor here in Department of Biological Sciences and Bioengineering, and research program in our lab is focused on understanding the structure and function of a special type of proteins in our body known as G protein coupled receptors. So these receptors are essentially membrane proteins, that is, they are integrated in the surface plasma membrane of the cells which are present in our body, and they are involved in almost every physiological process that goes on. For example, the way you are able to look at me is when a photon of light hits the retina in your eye, there is a GPCR that is activated, and that initiates the vision cascade that allows you to see things. The way you can smell the perfume of the person sitting next to you, because you have olfactory receptors in your nasal epithelium, which are GPCRs, and they allow you to smell. There are GPCRs in your tongue epithelium that allow you to sense the taste, different types of taste, based on which you can tell if the tea or if the coffee is too sweet or bitter or sour. And these receptors are the largest family of drug targets. So almost half of the drugs that are there in the market today, that is, the drugs or medicines that the doctors prescribe, they work by targeting one of these proteins. Now, these are very challenging proteins to work with. As some of you might be aware, structural biology domain, that is to look at proteins and biomolecules at high resolution to study their structure, architecture, has been a very strong domain in Indian science ecosystem. But this particular type of proteins that we refer to as membrane proteins, nobody dared to touch them in India until the last 10 years or so. And when I decided to move back to India back in 2014, this was one of my visions to establish this research direction in the country. It was challenging, there were many hurdles, but I'm very glad that our efforts have now established this line of research in the country, and it has inspired other people to return back to India, people who are doing science, for example, their PhD and their postdoctoral work abroad. They have come back to India to take up this research direction, and that is very satisfying. And I must say that this is a research direction where there is still a lot of opportunity and scope for novel drug discovery, and perhaps we will talk about some of those in the next 45 minutes. But I would encourage the youngsters to sort of read more and more about this exciting field of receptors, how our body or cells sense these signals, stimuli, and how it all sort of translates into physiological outcomes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sukla. Now I'll request Dr. Joshi.
Good morning, all. First of all, I would like to thank the committee, and I'm very honored to be part of this Y20 summit. I'm working with my technologies in Ayurveda, which is our ancient science, and I'm here to talk about health for future. So how these two are connected to each other. Basically, I came into this field because of my father. He was not well, and he got treated well through the Ayurvedic treatment. So as engineers, we got fascinated, curious how this really happened, right? So it really started with the curiosity. Then I did my PhD, and now I've started the company. And I see that the way my dad got treated, there is a need that millions of people in India, outside of India, needs similar treatment. Right? The treatment is more holistic. So today's, we are post-pandemic, but the situation is same. We are going through a lot of stress. More than 70% of people are have issues with non-communicable disorders. The root cause of that is incorrect lifestyle. We all know that India, the whole world is moving towards mental disorders and so on. And the solution is simple, actually, that we get into discipline, we get into our roots, and of course combine that with the best of technology, best of Western world, and we make sure that the way we exported yoga to the world, we have to make sure that when the world is ready, when the world moves from yoga as a natural transition to Ayurveda or any other traditional medicine, we have to make sure that our ancient language is told or is deciphered into their language, which is today's language, which is of numbers, which is of reports, statistics, comparison, and so on. So I'm very happy that we are creating one evidence-based system for the world, and Honorable PM Modiji's vision is to bring Ayush at every home, Har Ghar Ayurveda. So I'm very happy that we are playing a very significant role in that, and just wanted to extend that the world needs that, and we have to make sure that India plays, Bharat plays significant role in that journey. I'll talk more about it in subsequent sections. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. Now, Dr. Kumar.
Okay, thank you for the invitation, and it's so overwhelming seeing such young people in the audience, and I am myself feeling very young. So I have a question to you all. How is malaria spread? Anybody? Yeah, just be loud. Biting of mosquito, right? And so when you are standing outside in the evening in the lawn, some people will have a lot of mosquitoes on their body, while few will not have mosquitoes on their body. And when we were young, what we heard from our elders is कि इसका खून ज़्यादा मीठा है. And that is why a lot of mosquitoes are around his body, right? So my lab yeah, please, thank you. You got full marks. So my lab in CDRI is working on the human malaria parasite. Now this is a very interesting pathogen, intracellular pathogen. It lives in the mosquito, it fights with the mosquito, microbiota survives there. Then it comes in the human body, lives in the liver quietly, and then it comes in the blood, it grows in the blood, and then it forms gametes, and then taken up again by mosquito. Such complex life cycle traverses different hosts. One is a warm-blooded human host, and the other one is the cold-blooded mosquito vector. Now the same mosquito is also transmitting viruses. Now, can you tell me which viruses? What is endemic in UP? Yeah? Somebody from that corner said something? Dengue, we have chikungunya, we have JE, encephalitis, which is also endemic in Gorakhpur. So the same mosquito is transmitting both a protozoan parasite as well as a virus. This is fascinating, isn't it? And we till now do not understand how does these co-infection exist in the mosquito vector, because we have overlapping phases of transmission cycle. The other problem with this mosquito, this pathogen, intracellular parasite, is that it is gaining resistance. And as we hear from other fields of microbiology also, that drug resistance is a problem. So my lab is trying to understand how the parasite is able to survive under different stress conditions. What are the mechanisms which are unique to the parasite, which gives a competitive edge over the human host or the mosquito vector? And also my lab is involved in drug screening. We are looking at molecules which can be effective against the drug-resistant parasite. And as you know, that drug discovery is not an easy task. It takes 10 to 15 years and only with 1 to 2% success rate. So why I'm telling you this is because you in the audience, you people are from different diverse backgrounds, right? And the country's hope is the young generation, because they are dynamic, they are energetic, and they have idea of interdisciplinary science, because the avenues for interdisciplinary science is a lot. So my team works with medicinal chemists, it works with pharmacologists, we work with formulation guys, we work with doctors, and that is how with this diverse team, we gain a lot of knowledge. And the principles of infectious biology is the same, whether you apply it for parasitology or you apply it for bacteriology or mycology. So, and the problems of drug resistance are the same across different infections. So I would be happy to answer questions if you have something and if you would like to know more in details of what we are doing at CDRI. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Kumar. Now I'll request Dr. Thiagarajan to speak.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for IIT Kanpur and the organizing committee for having us all here. So Kumarji asked you a question. Maybe I can make a statement and then ask you a question. Okay, this statement may be very startling to you. Now, in the hall, if I say all of you are smokers, all of you are smokers, you carry the risk of being a smoker. Will you agree? Yes, because sitting for 2 hours continuously in a day is equal to smoking a pack of cigarettes. Sitting is the new smoking, is what sports medicine and sports science has discovered. So this has got huge ramifications. That is why you can see people now standing up and doing the desk, sit and stand desks, being physically active, all these attain a lot of importance. So probably in future, all our civil engineer and structural engineer colleagues, we should design the auditoriums where there are no seats, probably a few seats for the physically not so able, and most people will be sitting down or standing or sitting on a Swiss ball or something like that. So we have to strategically think differently. Number 2, what do you think is the best medicine, one single medicine in the world? Paracetamol? Dolo 650? I don't want to get into controversy. Yes, please. Loud? Laughter. Yeah, you've gone one step beyond. Great. The concept now is exercise is medicine. And of course, with physical wellness, mental wellness is also very important. We can talk about that also. Exercise is medicine, and one single activity of yours. Yes, please. Indeed.
Okay, so we will do that.
Yeah, maybe Santosh can help us.
Whoever speakers are comfortable in Hindi, they will speak. Okay? Sure. Point well taken.
So the moderator has to develop as the translator also for a few unfortunate cases like I am coming.
मत करिए, आप जो भी बोलेंगे मैं इन लोगों को समझा दूंगा.
Zarur. So exercise is medicine, and walking for 20 minutes in a day regularly is considered to circumvent most of the diseases like hypertension, cholesterol, diabetes in the world. It has been scientifically proven. So sports medicine is not only about elite sports medicine, not only about injuries. It's about sports, exercise, physical activity to make sportsmen better, and also in the bargain to make the humans better also. Because all the technologies that are in your Maruti car now, like the ABS and all other high-end technologies, have come from sports cars, from all this steering mounted controls. So something like that, sports and exercise medicine, all the advantages and inventions, we want to bring it to the common people. That is what is sports science and sports medicine about. So I am from the Center for Sports Science of my Sri Ramachandra University, which is a center of excellence recognized by Government of India. And I'm happy to be here to be interacting with you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Thiagarajan. So, summary of whatever they have said, I'll be saying in few words once I am done with all the panelists. तो जब सब लोग बोल लेंगे एक राउंड, तब मैं आप लोगों को एक थोड़ा सा जिस्ट दे दूंगा, एंड देन वील हैव बाइलिंगुअल। आगे के क्वेश्चंस दोनों भाषाओं में पूछे जाएंगे और आप लोग क्वेश्चन जिस भाषा में आप कंफर्टेबल है आप पूछ सकते हो, ठीक है? हाँ, थैंक यू। सो नाउ विल गो टू मिस्टर राहुल। So, yeah, you say
Thank you, sir.
first.
First of all, थोड़ी आवाज़ ख़राब है, मेरी गला ख़राब है, तो आई थिंक सुनने में दिक्कत होगी, so I'll repeat whenever you can't hear it. Being here and G20 का जो पूरा इस साल का theme है One Earth, One Family, One Future, particularly with the whole COVID thing, the way we have seen the whole world came together and we fought probably the biggest pandemic in the century pretty well. That defines what Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam is all about. Being part of many such projects where we work with the ventilator in our device and many other things. It's really a great privilege to be here in this panel. And similar to the team in my startup, Primary Health Tech, in this panel also I am probably the least technically educated person. So in Primary Health Tech, what we are doing is we are building a device called MobiLab, which enables you and primary healthcare workers, community healthcare workers, and individuals to test out pancreas, liver, kidney, lung-related disease at your home with roughly 90% accuracy compared to your gold standards, which we do at labs. Why these things are important? We all have seen, the labs, the diagnostic labs particularly, Metropolis and the bigger labs, we have seen in metro areas, in urban areas. But I'm sure none of you would have seen any such labs in rural areas. And the reason is not that people in rural areas cannot afford this, but the ROI simply doesn't work. If you set up the lab, you won't be able to find the trained manpower to run those labs. And that is why less complicated devices which are similar accuracy, which are using AI and machine learning technologies to understand and give the similar results are important. And that is what we are doing at MobiLab. So this is just the gist of introduction. Rest we'll continue during the panel.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Rao. तो अभी तक जो कुछ हमने सुना उसका सार तत्व तो यही है कि किसी भी देश को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हर अलग अलग फील्ड की एक्सपर्टीज की आवश्यकता होती है। एक मनुष्य सारी क्षमताओं को रखने वाला नहीं हो सकता है, लेकिन सारे मनुष्य सारी क्षमताओं को एक साथ मिलाकर वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का भाव लेते हुए एक स्वस्थ समाज का निर्माण कर सकते हैं। तो जैसे कि डॉक्टर शुक्ला ने पहले कहा कि आपको पेन क्यों होता है, आप कोई मेडिसिन लेते हो तो उसका काम करने का तरीका क्या है, और उसके लिए जो तत्व या अवयव आपके शरीर के इम्पॉर्टेंट होते हैं उनको कैसे पहचाना जाए और कैसे नए नए उन कंपोनेंट्स के बारे में बताया जाए जिससे कि फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज नई नई ड्रग्स डिज़ाइन कर सके। तो उनकी लैब उस फील्ड में काम करती है और उन लोगों ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है। आप उनकी वेबसाइट पे जाके देख भी सकते हैं। आप अगर रिसर्च आर्टिकल पढ़ने में इंटरेस्टेड हो पढ़ भी सकते हैं। ये आपको खुद करना पड़ेगा, जैसा कि अभी डॉक्टर त्यागराजन ने कहा कि एक्सरसाइज इज मेडिसिन। सो मेंटल एक्सरसाइज, विजुअल एक्सरसाइज एंड एक्सरसाइज ऑफ द ब्रेन, दिस इज ऑल मेडिसिन। सो प्लीज ट्राई एंड यू विल गेट इट। थैंक यू। देन डॉक्टर जोशी ने कहा कि जब हम कभी आयुर्वेद और मॉडर्न मेडिसिन की बात करते हैं तो ये हमें लगता है कि हम दो अलग अलग वर्ड, अलग अलग विश्व की बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ऐसा है नहीं। केवल कमी कहाँ रह जाती है कि हम हर चीज़ को अपने मॉडर्न टेक्निक्स के द्वारा प्रूव करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि हमारी ट्रेनिंग उसी में है और इसमें कुछ बुरा नहीं है। तो अगर हम चाहते हैं कि हमारा आयुर्वेद, हमारी ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन आज लोगों का कॉन्फिडेंस जीते और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग उसका प्रयोग करें, तो उसके लिए डेटा ड्रिवन, जिसमें ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों पर एक्सपेरिमेंट किए जाएं और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा साइंटिफिक टूल्स, जो आज के मॉडर्न साइंटिफिक टूल्स हैं, मैं केवल साइंटिफिक टूल नहीं कहूँगा, क्योंकि हर समाज, हर परिस्थिति में, हर काल में अपने अपने साइंटिफिक टूल्स रखता है। उनको कोई और नाम दिया जा सकता था, होगा, लेकिन आज के मॉडर्न टूल्स के द्वारा उनको हम प्रूव कर सकते हैं, उनको आइडेंटिफाई कर सकते हैं और ज़्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस लोगों में दे सकते हैं, जिससे कि वो इस मेडिसिन की ओर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बढ़ें, क्योंकि इसके साइड इफ़ेक्ट्स बहुत कम हैं, ऐसा लोगों ने अभी तक पाया है। ठीक है, तो वो डॉक्टर जोशी ने कहने की कोशिश की। फिर डॉक्टर कुमार ने कहा कि जो सबसे अभी जो एक सबसे ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम वाली प्रक्रिया है, मच्छरों के थ्रू फैल रही है, उसमें जो है कैसे वो पैरासाइट या कैसे वो वायरस उस मच्छर के अंदर रहता है, फिर आदमी के अंदर जाता है, इन पे रिसर्च उनकी लैब में हो रही है। वो लोग ये जानने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि जब हम किसी प्रक्रिया को अच्छी तरीके से समझ जाते हैं तभी हम उसमें बदलाव कर सकते हैं। अगर हमें वो प्रक्रिया समझ में ही नहीं आई है तो हम उसका बदलाव भी नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो इसीलिए इसको जानना ज़रूरी है कि मच्छर कैसे इन चीज़ों को फैलाता है, कौन उसका कॉजिंग एजेंट है, और इन चीज़ों को कैसे समझा जा सकता है। ठीक है, फिर डॉक्टर त्यागराजन ने बताया जो बिल्कुल टैग लाइन है, एक्सरसाइज इज मेडिसिन। तो अगर आप चाहते हैं कि आप फिट रहें, स्वस्थ रहें, आप अपने किसी भी कार्य को अच्छे से कर सकें, भले ही आपका काम, तो कभी कभी ये दिमाग में आता है कि मुझे तो क्रिकेटर बनना नहीं है, मुझे तो एथलीट बनना नहीं है, तो मैं क्यों एक्सरसाइज करूं? तो ये गलत है। आप कुछ भी करना चाहते हैं, आप कंप्यूटर चलाना चाहते हैं, आप फोकस करना चाहते हैं, आप नया कुछ सोचना चाहते हैं, हर चीज़ के लिए एक्सरसाइज आपको पॉजिटिव इनपुट देता है। आपके सोचने का तरीका, आपको कोई चीज़ एग्जीक्यूट करने का तरीका, ये बदल जाता है अगर आप एक स्वस्थ शरीर हैं। किसी ने कहा था, मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा किसने, लेकिन स्वस्थ शरीर में ही स्वस्थ मस्तिष्क का विकास होता है। और जैसा कि मिस्टर पटेल ने कहा कि ठीक है, बाकी चीज़ें हम जान रहे हैं, पहचान रहे हैं, लेकिन उसको कैसे हमें मार्केट में लेके आना है। तो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि हम बड़ी बड़ी किताबें पढ़ लेते हैं, लेकिन कहीं पे वो कमी रह जाती है कि हम कैसे उन किताबों के कॉन्सेप्ट्स को हम ग्राउंड पे ले आए। कैसे वो छोटी सी चीज़ जो आपने कभी सीखी होगी, उत्प्लावन बल, है ना, बर्नौली की थ्योरम, और उसको किसी ने यूज करके एक हवाई जहाज उड़ा दिया। पढ़ा तो बहुत लोगों ने होगा, लेकिन कर कुछ ही लोग पाए। क्यों? क्योंकि जब हम पढ़ते हैं तो हम उसको केवल एग्ज़ाम पास करने के लिए पढ़ लेते हैं। ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। जब भी आपको मौका मिले, जो भी आपको पढ़ाया जाए, हमेशा आप इस तरीके से लीजिए कि उससे आप कुछ ना कुछ नया कर सकते हैं। तो अगर आप ये सोच रखेंगे, तो जैसे इन्होंने सक्सेस पाई है अपनी फील्ड में, कॉन्सेप्ट्स को लेकर आए हैं, प्रोडक्ट्स बना रहे हैं, आप लोग भी कर सकते हैं। ईच वन ऑफ यू कैन बी इनोवेटर and make your contribution in the progress of our country. Thank you. Okay, so now we'll move to our second round. I hope I did not misinterpret any of the speakers, and if I did, that's my fault. I will take it on myself. Right, so now I will go for questions specific to the panelists, because they are working in diverse fields, so there could not be a very common question. Questions will allow in the last, है ना? पहले 45 मिनट हम लोग कन्वर्सेशन करेंगे, फिर क्वेश्चन बाद में लेंगे, नहीं तो फिर ये जो हमारा सिस्टम है थोड़ा इंटरप्ट हो जाएगा। मैं भी थोड़ा रट्टा मार के आया हूँ कि क्या क्या पूछना है। So question is from Professor Shukla and Professor Niti Kumar, because they are running lab, and it is very difficult most of the times to bring those discoveries to the market. So क्या challenges वो सोचते हैं कि उन concepts को market में लाने में क्या क्या challenges हैं, they will say in few words in 2 to 3 minutes. So we'll start with Professor Shukla.
Thank you, Santosh. मैंने मास्टर्स के बाद अपनी पीएचडी और आगे का काम यूरोप में किया, फिर यूएस में किया। उसके बाद 2014 में मैं वापस इंडिया में आया। मुझे हमेशा से ये लगता था कि ये जो हमारे स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो सबसे बड़ी हमारे लिए sort of they are the best students in the world. आज जब आपने कहा खड़े होके कि आप इंग्लिश में नहीं हिंदी में बात कीजिए, मुझे अंदर से बहुत अच्छा लगा. शायद मैं आपके स्टेज पे मैं ऐसे खड़े होके अपनी बात को, अपनी एक्सप्रेशन को नहीं रख पाता. आपने रखा, ये देख के मुझे बहुत खुशी है. और मेरा जो कन्विक्शन है कि इंडियन यंगस्टर्स जो हैं वो बहुत अच्छे लेवल पे हमारे कंट्री को, हमारे साइंस को ले जाएंगे और भी ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गए आपकी बात सुन के. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर रेजिंग दिस. जैसा डॉक्टर कुमार ने कहा, रिसर्च तो हम लोग लैब में करते हैं, बट उसको जैसे ड्रग डिस्कवरी की बात हम करते हैं, नई दवाइयाँ खोजने की बात करते हैं, वो एक बहुत लंबी चलने वाली प्रक्रिया है, बहुत जटिल प्रक्रिया है. उसमें कई सारे स्टेप्स होते हैं. सब कुछ एक लैब में, एकेडमिक लैब में करना तो संभव नहीं है. हम लोग की कोशिश ये रहती है कि एक जो उसका फंडामेंटल नॉलेज है उसको हम डिस्कवर करें. उसके बाद हम रिसर्च पब्लिकेशन के थ्रू उसको पब्लिक डोमेन में डालें, पैटेंट करके ऑफ कोर्स आप उसका आईपी प्रोटेक्शन कर सकते हैं. उसके बाद वाली जो स्टेप्स है, जैसे क्लिनिकल ट्रायल होती है जिसमें चूहों में परीक्षण होता है, फिर क्लिनिक्स में होता है पेशेंट्स पे, या फेज़ 1, फेज़ 2, फेज़ 3 ट्रायल्स जिसको हम बोलते हैं, वो सब एकेडमिक लैब्स में करना उतना इजी नहीं है अभी भी. लेकिन गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से बहुत सारी स्कीम्स, बहुत सारा सपोर्ट ऐसा हो रहा है जहाँ पे लीड कंपाउंड जो हम लैब में ढूंढते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल, जो कि पोटेंशियल ड्रग, पोटेंशियल दवा बन सकती है, उसको आगे ले जाने के लिए इंडिया में ही बहुत सारी स्कीम्स, बहुत सारा सपोर्ट मिल रहा है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की तरफ से. एक चीज़ जो ध्यान में रखने वाला है, ये टाइम लेने वाली प्रक्रिया है. ओवरनाइट हम कोई चीज़ के लिए ड्रग नहीं बना सकते. आपने सुना होगा कोविड जब आया तो वैक्सीन बहुत जल्दी बन गई. आपको लगता होगा कि शायद ये तो बहुत लंबी चलने वाली प्रक्रिया नहीं है, लेकिन कोविड की जो वैक्सीन बनी उसका जो बैकग्राउंड का रिसर्च है, उसका जो बैकग्राउंड का काम है, बहुत सालों से चल रहा है. कोविड के ऊपर नहीं, बट और सारे वायरसेस के ऊपर, क्योंकि हमारे पास वो नॉलेज थी, उसको हम क्विकली ट्रांसलेट कर पाए वैक्सीन में. सिर्फ इंडिया में नहीं बल्कि पूरे वर्ल्ड में मैं कहूँगा. अभी जो मुश्किलें या हर्डल्स आप जिसको बोल सकते हैं कि क्लिनिकल ट्रायल्स करने का जो सेटअप है, जो लार्ज स्केल डेटा एनालिसिस का सेटअप है, ये सब अभी धीरे धीरे चीज़ें हो रही हैं इंडिया में. ये जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है क्लिनिकल ट्रायल वाला, जो ओपन ट्रांसपेरेंट डेटा शेयरिंग का जो सिस्टम होना चाहिए, ये सब चीज़ें धीरे धीरे बन रही हैं. अभी हमारे एक तरह से बोलें लिमिटेशन ये है ड्रग डिस्कवरी के सेंस में, बट मैं बहुत ही पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड और रखने वाला और ऑप्टिमिस्टिक सॉर्ट ऑफ साइंटिस्ट हूँ. मुझे लगता है कि चीज़ें बहुत अच्छी हो रही हैं और हमें भरोसा है कि आप लोगों में से कुछ लोग इस चैलेंज को लेंगे और आगे चल के चीज़ों को और भी बेहतर कर पाएंगे. थैंक यू.
डॉक्टर कुमार.
ओके, एक छोटी सी स्टोरी सुनाती हूँ जो पैंडेमिक के टाइम पे शुरू हुई थी. मेरी लैब, जैसे मैंने कहा, फंडामेंटल रिसर्च भी करती है, ड्रग डिस्कवरी भी करती है, मैं पार्टिसिपेट करती है. बट ये स्टोरी स्टार्ट हुई थी 2020 में, जैसे ही पैंडेमिक आया. एंड आप लोगों को पता होगा कि उस टाइम पे रियल टाइम PCR किट्स भी बहुत मुश्किल से हम लोग इंपोर्ट कर रहे थे, एंड बीच में टेस्टिंग भी रुक गई थी बिकॉज वी डिडंट हैव इनफ किट्स. एंड उसी टाइम ही गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से एक कॉल आया था पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप प्रोजेक्ट का, एंड उसमें इंडिजिनस टेक्नोलॉजीज़ के लिए कॉल आया था. बहुत लोगों ने डिफरेंट अपने प्रोजेक्ट्स लिखे. हम लोगों ने इट जस्ट हैपेंड कि उस टाइम पे हम लोग लॉकडाउन में कैंपस में बंद हो चुके थे, एंड दूर दूर खड़े होके हम लोग खुद सोच रहे थे कि कैसे हम अपनी नॉलेज को इंडिया की कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग में यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं, हम उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं. एंड तभी हम 3 कॉलीग्स, एक मेडिसिनल केमिस्ट, एक स्ट्रक्चरल बायोलॉजिस्ट और एक मैं, मतलब हम 3 लैब्स मिली और हमने वी स्टार्टेड प्रिपेयरिंग इंडिजिनस फ्लोरेसेंट डाइज एंड क्वेंचर. जो RT-PCR टेस्ट आप लोग कोविड टेस्टिंग में आपको पता चला होगा कि आप कोविड पॉजिटिव है या कोविड नेगेटिव है, तो वो जो रिएजेंट्स जो होते हैं वो हमने खुद लैब में बनाना शुरू किया, नो हाउ डेवलप करा. वी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द स्क्रैच. एंड ये सब तभी पॉसिबल हो पाया क्योंकि उस टाइम एक एक छोटी सी इंडस्ट्री ने हमारी कैपेबिलिटी में फेथ दिखाया. सो एज राहुल इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द इंडस्ट्री सेक्शन, सो क्या होता है कभी कभी एकेडेमिया और इंडस्ट्री में ना फेथ नहीं डेवलप होता है, वो ट्रस्ट नहीं डेवलप होता है, ऑल्दो वो दोनों में कैपेबिलिटीज़ होती है. बट आप जैसे जानते हैं कि एक्सपेरिमेंट्स बहुत फेल करते हैं. उस लॉकडाउन के टाइम पे जब रिएजेंट्स नहीं थे, वो छोटी सी इंडस्ट्री ने हमें फेथ दिखाया, हमें जो मिनिमल रिएजेंट्स चाहिए होते हैं वो सब प्रोवाइड करे. एंड देन वी डेवलप द टेक्नोलॉजी, वी डिड द टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफ़र, वी हैव फाइल्ड अ पेटेंट, नेशनल एंड इंटरनेशनल पेटेंट. एंड वो जो जर्नी थी वो बहुत लर्निंग वाली जर्नी थी, बिकॉज हमने ज़ीरो से स्टार्ट करा था और हमारी टीम में हमारी लैब्स थी विच द मोमेंटम वॉज प्रोवाइडेड बाय द स्टूडेंट्स. बेचारे स्टूडेंट्स ने वो 2 साल, नो सैटरडे नो संडे, वी ऑल वर इन द लैब. तो हमें पता ही नहीं चलता था कौन सा वीकडे है, आज संडे है या मंडे है. बट दे वर सो ऑप्टिमिस्टिक. और जब हमारे क्वालिटी कंट्रोल्स फेल हो रहे थे, हमारे इनिशियल एक्सपेरिमेंट्स फेल हो रहे थे, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स ने हार नहीं मांगी. तो मैं सारा क्रेडिट अपने स्टूडेंट्स को, जो हमारी टीम मेंबर्स थे, और हमारी इंडस्ट्री पार्टनर को देना चाहती हूँ. तो जैसे कैसे एक लैब की एक्सपेरिमेंट एक टेक्नोलॉजी में जाती है, तो टीम बिल्डिंग एंड ट्रस्ट, फॉर मी दीज आर द 2 इम्पॉर्टेंट पैरामीटर्स. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Dr. Shukla and Dr. Kumar. So the 2 things which I could capture from these 2 points or 2 speakers. First thing what Dr. Shukla said, that we should focus on parallel innovations. We should not wait for disease to capture the space and then we go for the medicine. That will always take more time. So he explained that why it took less time for this vaccine to come to the market, because background research is already going on all the time, right? So we should be very futuristic in thinking about what could be the possible problem our society might face. So we should be ready for that. And the second part, the collaboration, which Dr. Niti Kumar highlighted very well. So again, if we collaborate, we can do really well in quick time with more focus and more benefits. So thank you to both of you. So now my pointed question is to Dr. Joshi, that that inhibition of going in the space of traditional medicine or Ayurveda or any other form of medicine which is traditionally used, homeopathic or Unani, whichever you take. There is huge inhibition, but more inhibition is in the youth of the country. Now, what can be done to gain their confidence? क्या कर सकते हैं कि उनको ज़्यादा एसोसिएशन फील हो इन ट्रेडिशनल सिस्टम्स में, जो कि ऑलरेडी I mean lot of work would have been done, because when our society started using it, that is like maybe 10,000 years already. So lot of use and benefit and loss comparisons would have happened. लेकिन आज वो नहीं हो पा रहा है. So क्या करना चाहिए कि वो ज़्यादा एसोसिएट कर पाए, और जब वो एसोसिएट करेंगे तो वो इस पे रिसर्च भी करेंगे, इसको यूज़ भी करेंगे, इसके फ्यूचरिस्टिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स भी लेके आएंगे, and then we will be successful. Because in the very beginning, our chief guest also highlighted that we are a country which is 65% youth. Other countries, they might be low in number, but they also need youth to engage in their own traditional medicine, so that more and more benefit can be gained by the society. So, your words.
As you rightly said, we have a great youth, लेकिन इस youth का impact तभी पड़ेगा जब वो youth is healthier and happier both. Right? So it is very necessary that, और मैं youth को थोड़ा सा मतलब उसका age range थोड़ा बड़ा करता हूँ, because people in 30s and 40s are behaving like youth these days. So I'll combine them also. सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि जैसे हम बोलते हैं को हम, मैं कौन हूँ, हु एम आई, वो पहचानना बहुत ज़रूरी है. जैसे सेशन चल रहा था, किसी ने उठ के बताया कि नहीं मैं चाहता हूँ या चाहती हूँ वैसे ही सेशन चले. कुछ थे उनको अच्छा लगा, कुछ थे उनको बुरा लगा, कुछ थे एसी चल रहा है बैठ लेते हैं, राइट. सो देयर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ पीपल. वी कॉल दैट एज प्रकृति इन आयुर्वेद. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू शुड नो हु यू आर and how you behave with respect to various things, whether it's with respect to social, economical and so on. यूथ की अभी की जो सबसे बड़ी समस्या है वो अलग अलग चैलेंजेस है, बट डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ स्ट्रेस. मतलब बहुत स्ट्रेस है यूथ को एट द मोमेंट. सो वी आर करंटली टॉकिंग टू ऑलमोस्ट 2000 पीपल एवरी डे, एंड अलग अलग तरीके के स्ट्रेस है. सोशल है, जॉब ड्रिवन है, यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स है बहुत सारे तो उनको अच्छा एक्सेल करना है एंड सो ऑन. सॉरी माय हिंदी इज़ नॉट दैट ग्रेट, थोड़ा बम्बई हिंदी है बट मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ. ओके, मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ. सो बेसिकली व्हाट वी रियली नीड इज़ फर्स्ट वी शुड नो हु वी आर एंड वेयर वी वांट टू वेयर वी वांट टू गो. सो ये अगर क्लियर होगा तो सबसे अच्छा होगा. यूथ को दो ही चीज़ें पसंद आती है, एक या तो गैजेट या तो उसका कोई आइडल. ओके, दे डू नॉट लिसन टू देयर पेरेंट्स, दे डू नॉट लिसन टू एनी अदर पीपल. सो वी शुड मेक श्योर दैट वी आर इंटरेक्टिंग विथ अवर यूथ थ्रू आइदर गेमिफिकेशन और थ्रू गैजेट्स, एप्स, मोबाइल फोन्स और वो. तो हम अलग अलग कॉलेजेस में जाते थे, लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करते थे कि there is a very interesting concept in Ayurveda, also in GP, tongue-based diagnosis, right? जिह्वा परीक्षा. तो हमने एक ऐप बनाया, हम लोग सेल्फीज लेते रहते हैं. So what we asked our youth कि रोज एक टंग का सेल्फी लो. We called it as tongue fee, right? और रोज उसमें देखना कि उसमें कौन से लेयर्स है. आपका टंग पिंक है, वाइट है, उसमें कितने क्रैक्स है, मेरा क्रैक कितना है, अपने दोस्तों का कितना है. एंड इट रियली वर्कड, राइट. Just by making it more like a gamification, we were able to explain them ki, how your tongue is giving you a lot of information about your digestive system. Similarly, our primary product is with respect to Nadi, pulse. So we have computerized the Nadi Pariksha, the pulse-based diagnostics in Ayurveda. We have a device, we have an app, we have report cards and so on. So youth is interested to see what is happening, right? So we are providing those kind of reports. तो एक है गेमिफिकेशन, जिससे आप यूथ को कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, उनके पास जा सकते हैं, उनको वश में कर सकते हैं. एंड वी कैन एक्चुअली एक्सप्लेन देम हाउ डिसिप्लिन इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. सर टॉक्ड अबाउट एक्सरसाइज. आई विल गो स्लाइटली बियॉन्ड. How sleep is important, how music is important, how water is important, how food is important, how food works as medicines. We have a lot of papers published कि कौन से सीजन में क्या फूड खाना चाहिए, क्या फूड नहीं खाना चाहिए, सुबह क्या खाना चाहिए, शाम को क्या खाना चाहिए. We tracked so many people across the year and we showed how our digestive system behaves different in the winter season, in the rainy season, specifically on specific ekadashis, on specific chaturthis, on specific amavas. The numbers are different. सिर्फ कल्चर में है, इसलिए शायद आज का यूथ इसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेगा. इफ वी कैन टेल दोज पीपल कंप्लीटली डेटा ड्रिवन रिजल्ट्स कि ये ग्राफ ऐसे जाता है और ऐसे आता है, तो जब ये नीचे है तो आप प्लीज कम कैलोरी वाला डाइट. So directly we cannot tell them कि पिज़्ज़ा मत खाओ, बर्गर मत खाओ. They will not accept this language. But if we can tell them कि इन दिनों में ये करो, उन दिनों में प्लीज़ मत करो. So that kind of system we are developing. And I mean, I've been traveling throughout the world. The problem is absolutely universal. The problem is absolutely universal. So whatever we are creating from the holistic point of view, I think the world is ready to accept. when we received the National Startup Award, I got a chance to be in one of the largest conference in the Europe, and I directed there with a Germany-based company. And when I was presenting this particular slide, कि कैसे moon cycle has an effect on our body, those people got very fascinated. Wow, how is it possible? And they do not know about shlokas, Ayurveda and so on, but they know about graph. Okay, the graph goes up, the graph goes down. They know this language. So it's language pe I've received a huge project in Germany. So I'm taking Ayurveda to the Germany now. So it's very important that youth accepts it more like a discipline. एक दूसरे से बात करें, अपने आइडल से बात करें, गैजेट से बात करें. सब लोग बोलते हैं गैजेट से कम बात करो, but you can talk to them in a very creative way. And first of all, know yourself, and then accordingly adapt everything, whether it's medicine, whether it's your education, whether it's your job. Currently, we are working with Tata Consultancy Services, TCS, and it's a product in corporate wellness, right? So again, TCS is entering into Ayurveda. So you can have a very bright future if you first understand who you are, what you are capable of, what could be your future, and work accordingly. So all the best to the youth. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. So now I'll ask Professor Tyagarajan. So whenever it comes to different aspects of the healthcare, so there are two components, healthcare providers and the people who receive it. Now, innovation is required in both the domains. Whoever is giving the care and whoever is receiving the care. Now, in the receiving of the care, that okay, पहले क्या होता था, patients directly window पे जाते थे, पर्ची लेते थे, directly डॉक्टर के पास जाते थे, डॉक्टर उनको कुछ सजेस्ट करता था, कुछ मेडिसिन्स लिखते थे based on the symptoms and all. अभी बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें इंटरवेंशन ये है कि आप पहले एक रिपोर्ट लेके आइए, कुछ डायग्नोस्टिक करिए, उसकी रिपोर्ट्स के बेसिस पे डॉक्टर आपको सजेशंस देते हैं. हेल्थ गिवर स्पेस में है कि आप हर चीज़ के स्पेशलिस्ट के पास जा सकते हैं. यहाँ तक कि अभी फ्यूचर में कभी ऐसा भी हो सकता है, मुझे किसी की कही हुई बात याद आ रही है कि राइट हैंड का स्पेशलिस्ट अलग होगा, लेफ्ट हैंड का अलग होगा. दैट इज़ ऑल्सो पॉसिबल. लेकिन जब इतना ज़्यादा डाइवर्स फील्ड है, उसके बाद भी बहुत सी ऐसी फील्ड है जो अनटच्ड है एज पर इंडियन सोसाइटी, एज पर इंडियन हेल्थ केयर सिस्टम. जैसे कि स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन हम देख रहे हैं कि आज हमारे यहाँ IPL चल रहा है, जो कि वन ऑफ द रिचेस्ट लीग इन वर्ल्ड हो चुकी है. बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें लोगों को जॉब मिल रहा है, लोगों को जीवन जीने का जरिया मिल रहा है. लेकिन कुछ डोमेन्स ऐसे हैं जिसमें हम अपना कंट्रीब्यूशन नहीं दे पा रहे हैं या उसका फ़ायदा नहीं उठा पा रहे हैं. जैसे कि हैविंग अ वेरी वर्ल्ड क्लास फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट, जो कि हर टीम को चाहिए होगा, जो कि हर खिलाड़ी को चाहिए होगा, जिससे कि वो अपना IPL का एक भी मैच मिस ना करे. हो सकता है उसी से उसकी नेशनल टीम में सिलेक्शन हो जाए. लेकिन ये अभी भी इतना अनटच्ड क्यों है? इसके बारे में लोगों को एज ए करियर ऑप्शन क्यों पता नहीं है और क्यों इसमें ज़्यादा लोग अभी जा नहीं पा रहे हैं? तो दैट्स व्हाट आई वांट टू नो फ्रॉम यू, दैट व्हाट कैन बी डन दैट दिस स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन थिंग doesn't remain as one corner, but it can take the center stage because it directly correlates with youth, and that will be driving the future for the country.
Thank you, Santosh. I think many of you probably are hearing for the first time sports medicine. What has got medicine to do with the sports? Already sportsman is a healthy man, right? So why this hell doctor is there, physio is there to take care of the injuries. So actually thanks for bringing out this thing. It's not only about sports, as we spoke, it's sports and exercise medicine as called in many of the advanced countries. Now we are expanding the scope also into wellness, mind and body. So a lot of overlap is there with other specialties also. Sports medicine now, you can see, I can quote the IPL or the football teams. If you see the team, maybe 11 players are there. But if you see how much are traveling in the bus, probably 50 people. So the support staff, the physios, trainers, analysts, nutritionists, psychologists, masseur, sometimes that is a bigger team than the original team itself. So previously we had only one coach will travel at the most, sometimes no coach also in India. The teams travel separately and you have one coach for 4 teams. So that also happens, but let's not come to that. It's about human resources and awareness, funding. So all are an issue. So we are trying to solve because we have to have more human resources. As he said, the right hand, left hand, separate doctor. Like that, from head to toe, there are different specialists in sports medicine. Human psychologist. There is one specialist for foot alone, podiatrist. And then you have exercise physiologist, biomechanist, nutritionist, game analyst. It is so fascinating this field is. Each one can contribute so much. You know, in a 100 meters race in Olympics, everybody is watching. The final 0.01 second makes a difference between the gold medal to no medal. All of us know the legendary story of P.T. Usha madam. She missed the Olympic medal by a Avishkar, right? But she inspired the entire nation. But with sports science and sports medicine, probably we could have got a medal that time with P.T. Usha. That is the inspiration that made us to form this institute and have this as a hub to give off sports medicine and sports science related services, education, research, all are very important in this country. So we have started courses on sports sciences, sports physiotherapy. We have been collaborating with the National Institute of Sports, Patiala, and offering a super specialty course in sports physiotherapy. So these people will be probably better than the foreign physiotherapist because our physios knows our people better than foreign physios. And the skills are imparted also. So it is just a matter of vision and support and executing things. And Government of India has launched many such schemes like Khelo India and new sports science, sports medicine centers, universities. This is really picking up this field. And all my students who have done sports science are well placed now. Most of them are abroad or doing higher studies or research or placed in various IPL, ISL teams or working for Sports Authority of India. So it's a young nascent field. When you say young, you have advantage, you are attractive and all these things, but you are also inexperienced. So this field will definitely grow because it can touch sports people, it can touch anyone who wants to do exercise or physically fit. So we can do a lot of things. So only we have not even a half a cup empty, is almost 99% empty, but we can fill it up nicely. Thanks, I think I have answered part of your question at least.
Thank you, Professor Tyagarajan. Yes. आपने बहुत ब्यूटीफुली इसको केवल इस बात पे नहीं रोका कि हमें स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन में आगे बढ़ना है, हमें इंडिया सेंट्रिक स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन में बढ़ना है, क्योंकि बहुत से गेम्स ऐसे हैं जो जिसमें हम टॉप पे हैं, जैसे कि आप कबड्डी, खो खो, उसमें जो इंजरी होगी शायद उसके लिए स्पेशलिस्ट हमें कहीं ना मिले, हमें अपने स्पेशलिस्ट उसके लिए बनाने पड़ेंगे जो हमारे एथलीट्स की बॉडी को अच्छे से समझेंगे, हम क्या खाते हैं, क्या पीते हैं, वो सारा कुछ हमारे कल्चर से एसोसिएटेड है. तो ये केवल यही नहीं है कि हमें स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन कल्चर आगे बढ़ाना है, हमें इंडिया सेंट्रिक स्पोर्ट्स मेडिसिन सिस्टम को आगे बढ़ाना है और ये आपने बहुत अच्छे से समझाया. थैंक यू फॉर दैट. Okay, so now we'll move ahead. And next pointed question to Mr. Patel I'll ask that what are the challenges in establishing new startups in healthcare space, and then what are the incentives can be given so that it becomes much easier. And why, from where my question is coming, आज दुनिया में हमारा देश one of the top most countries जो सबसे ज़्यादा स्टार्टअप्स शुरू कर रहे हैं, लेकिन जो मैक्सिमम स्टार्टअप्स हैं वो किन्हीं और क्षेत्रों में हैं. हेल्थ केयर स्पेस अभी भी हम उतना आगे नहीं बढ़ पा रहे. सो व्हाट आर द चैलेंजेस और कौन से इंसेंटिव्स दिए जा सकते हैं कि जिससे उसमें हमें सक्सेस मिले? सो मिस्टर पटेल.
बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग क्वेश्चन है सर ये, और मैं दोनों साइड से आंसर कर सकता हूँ इसको. तो आई विल ट्राई टू जज इट, आई मीन प्रोवाइड माय इनपुट फ्रॉम बोथ साइड्स, फ्रॉम एज अ co-founder of a healthcare company, as well as since I work with IIT Kanpur incubator, so I interact with a lot of other startups as well. At the moment in India, government of India and every state government is providing ample number of opportunities, from funding, fellowship, access to labs and everything if you want to build a startup, particularly in a product space. Whether it's a healthcare product, agriculture product, but if it's a product, technology driven product particularly, you can easily get up to 1 crore rupees funding if the product is good. That becomes, because that's entirely merit driven structure. You have selection process, multi-tier selection process. So random selections are not there. In terms of challenges in establishing a startup, in general जितने challenge होते हैं कोई भी company startup करने में वो सारे तो हैं. Access to funding, building a team, all of these are there. But healthcare में एक particular additional challenge add हो जाता है because your gestation period is very long. In our company, in primary health tech, the research part started way back in 2015 in IIT Guwahati, in Center for Nano. In 2018, we took a technology transfer from IIT Guwahati for 2 patents. 2018 onwards, we started working on, refining the product to bring it to the market. The product is not yet in the market. It will take another 3 months before we get the CDSCO final certification. And this whole journey, it's been 5 years now, and we have a big team of 35 people. I'm the only non-technical person in the team. The rest of the entire team is MTech, PhDs from IITs and ISCs. All of them need sustenance. So sustenance ke liye you need money. Thankfully, there are n number of government grants available, n number of government schemes available, whether it's Department of Science Technology, Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Electronics, कोई ना कोई funding scheme सबके पास है. So far till date we have access to around 2.5 CR funding from grants and debt or equity based funding only from the government, and additional 50-60 lakh we have raised from the private investors. तो gestation period long होने का reason बहुत simple सा है जो already बाकी panelists ने explain किया है कि drug discovery, healthcare product delivery, since you are dealing with people's health, you need additional steps before you bring the product in market. अगर आप app develop कर रहे हैं, आप कोई एक food product बना रहे हैं, your steps are significantly lower. We have done already 15,000 clinical trials in last 4 years. Yet वो कम पड़ जाते हैं जब आप CDSCO certificate के लिए apply करते हैं. They'll ask for 5,000 more. We did a double blind with Army very recently. It was 100+ tests, double blind, which Army did. But the moment we went to the next battalion, they asked again for a double blind, which they'll do. So healthcare में ये challenge है, but अभी healthcare के अलावा you have allied healthcare के बहुत सारे domain, right? Because digital and AI technology is booming. All of you would have seen, देखा होगा कि AI ML पे बहुत सारे startups आ रहे हैं, बहुत सारा innovation है, because data बहुत सारा generate हो रहा है. आप सिर्फ अगर फ़ोन लेके चल रहे हैं तो through your GPS, gyroscope and many other sensors that the phone still has, your phone will provide you the data. कितने steps चल लिए आपने, steps चलने में कितनी जगह आपको धक्का लगा, कितनी जगह आपको सीढ़ियाँ चढ़नी पड़ी, and all of this translates into a lot of data points. Very simple data point like आपने अगर सबने घर में I think शुगर की टेस्टिंग मशीन देख ली होगी अब तक, या नहीं देखी तो अच्छी बात है, बट आसपास देखी होगी एक्यूश्योर की या किसी न किसी टेस्टिंग मशीन. वो मशीन्स रफली 25 to 30% इनएक्यूरेट होती हैं, एवरी सिंगल मशीन. तो अगर आपका ब्लड शुगर का रीडिंग 100 आया है, द एक्चुअल रीडिंग वुड बी एनीवेयर बिटवीन 75 to 125, एंड दैट विल बी ट्रू फॉर एवरी सिंगल होम किट. बट फिर भी सारे लोग टेस्ट करते हैं. एवरी डॉक्टर प्रिस्क्राइब्स दैट बिकॉज इट कैन गिव यू अ ट्रेंड इवन इफ inaccurate. That if you're every single time if your reading is coming 200 and above, that means you already have a diabetic tendency. If your reading is up to 125, 110, you are pre-diabetic. तो AI और ML वाले पोर्टल AI और ML वाले सेगमेंट में बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ हैं. फंडिंग के लिए प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टर वाला इसको भी अब फॉर्चुनेटली अब इंडिया में खुलने लगा है. वी हैव लॉट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट स्कीम्स एंड गवर्नमेंट फोकस्ड सपोर्ट जहाँ पे जो लोकल HNIs हैं उनसे कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं. Yesterday only I had a discussion with ICICI Bank, local branch in IIT Kanpur, and they are interested to connect their HNIs with the prospective startups जिनके product market में आ चुके हैं. So opportunities are ample. All you need is to focus on a challenge जो आपको बड़ा interesting लगता है. हमारे वाले product में भी मेरा interest बहुत seriously आना शुरू हुआ 3 years down the line. Randomly मैंने test करवाया था अपने blood का. And I got to know कि my SGPT is through the roof. Doctor told me कि भाई fatty liver का issue होगा शायद. I got it tested. It was a grade 2. Grade 3 हो जाता, it would have been irreversible. Fortunately test किया, I started taking the precautions. Next 6 months it is all fine. So that is where the most innovation is needed. Even if you are not building a product, use data and AI and build those products.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pradil. Yeah, so I request Dr. Joshi to add few points.
एक ही point add करना था. I mean, he has covered all the points. Because we are sitting into the G20 summit, when we grabbed the Germany-based project, and it has started actually, but we have to do a lot of things. We have to repeat a lot of things again for Germany. Okay, so just want to make a very small challenge here. That yes, we want to be global leader, but then we need a framework or ecosystem which makes it simpler for Indian products or Indian systems, or in this case Indian medicine, to take to the world. So I think we need a framework. That's a small point I wanted.
Yeah, correctly said. Framework is required because that helps in even devising the policies and other things so that we can move ahead in that direction. Okay, so with that we'll move to next question, which is related to our G20 partners. So this Y20 event is happening in consultation with the G20, which is right now India is heading as president of it. So question to Professor Shukla and Professor Niti Kumar is that creating these cross-country collaborations, what else can be done? Currently, there is like lot of collaboration is going on. बहुत ज़्यादा यहाँ की labs, other G20 countries की जो labs हैं, उनके साथ collaboration होते हैं, research projects होते हैं. क्या और किया जा सकता है if both of them can say one point each? So Professor Shukla or
Abhi, what I have seen in the last decade or so is from the government side, of course, there are many funding opportunities, international collaborations करने के लिए, but बहुत सारे inter-institutional collaborations भी हो रहे हैं अभी. मुझे जो लगता है ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि हम सिर्फ collaboration करें so that we get access to the technology platforms or infrastructure that is available abroad. हमें ऐसा भी develop करना चाहिए, अपना भी infrastructure ऐसे करना होगा that even people sitting in Europe or in States, they want to come and use our technology, our platforms, our setup. So it should be a two-way street. अभी बहुत सारा चीज़ों में ऐसे हो रहा है that collaboration कर रहे हैं just to get access to high-end facilities or equipments. That is completely fine. But going forward, we have to develop हमारा own capacity building करना होगा. हमें अपना infrastructure improve करना होगा science and research के field में, so that बाहर के लोग भी यहाँ पे आएँ because उनके पास उस चीज़ों का access नहीं है जो हम यहाँ पे develop कर सकें. And if we can strengthen our own capacity, I think this will further catalyze additional collaborations across country in addition to what is already going on.
Thanks, sir.
just to add on Arun's point, मुझे लगता है बहुत concrete steps की ज़रूरत है जहाँ पे different academic institutions across different countries, farmers and also philanthropic organizations जो कुछ projects को fund करते, they all have to come to one table and they have to systematically work together. जैसे एक छोटा example देते हैं, at least for we are fortunate in the case of malaria, हम लोगों के पास we have a consortium मतलब multiple people are working in it. This is Medicines for Malaria Venture. हम लोग different time zones में research labs हैं, chemist and biologist. हम लोग we have online meetings जहाँ पे हम know how share करते हैं, हम protocols share करते हैं. Plus अगर कोई डेटा एक लैब में किसी मॉलिक्यूल के लिए जनरेट हुआ है तो उसका क्रॉस वैलिडेशन दूसरी लैब में भी होता है. उससे क्या होता है कि एक अगर कोई मॉलिक्यूल में दम है तो वो आगे लेकर जाते हैं. अगर वो मॉलिक्यूल नहीं अगर वो मॉलिक्यूल प्रॉब्लमैटिक है तो उसको उसी टाइम ही ड्रॉप आउट कर दिया जाता है. जैसे कहा जाता है ड्रग डिस्कवरी में फेल अर्ली इज़ बेटर, बिकॉज इफ़ यू फेल अर्ली you do not waste your resources and time on a failed molecule. You utilize that time and resources for a better molecule. So इसीलिए मुझे लगता है कि एक जो हमेशा जैसे मैं कहती हूँ trust, wherein people from different backgrounds they work together. The pharmaceutical company also comes on together with academic institutions and philanthropic organization. जैसे हम लोगों ने देखा है टाटा बहुत सारे projects को fund करते हैं, गेट्स फाउंडेशन fund करते हैं, आजकल अभी फाइजर and Glaxo is also funding. So all of them अगर they come on the table, but systematic efforts चाहिए. We need organizations which bring all of them together on one table so that they can contribute optimally. These are my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shukla and Dr. Kumar. So now let's give a big round of applause for all the panelists, what they have said. And now we'll open this session for questions. So audience, please raise your hand. And whoever I see first, because I might not say. So here I see one person. Please give mic to him. Oh, so somebody is raising two hands, that counts one. So please ask your question.
My question is to all the panelists, and including the moderator, sir, and especially Neeti ma'am, since she herself is a scientist. We were talking about future of health, and I was hearing everything about the discoveries and breakthroughs in medicines and vaccines. But especially in my point of view, I don't think that these are the future of health. I think that building the immunity in such a way
so
that...
please, questions. So that, because that will help us to frame the answer. So you just, I think everybody, all the panelists are well versed in their field. So if you ask question, they'll give you answer. So just one line question, that will help us to understand the question better.
What advancement can we bring in the field of improving the immunity of human species as
Great,
a whole?
thank you. We got the question. So any of you, whoever wants to answer? Immunity, yeah.
Yeah, immunity is my forte. So, सबसे पहले तो you should feel the wellness, the well-being within. मतलब अंदर से पहले feel करना है आपको कि आपकी immunity कैसी है, क्यों है, and that immunity has to be holistic, physically, psychologically, mentally, and so on. और मेरी कंपनी उसी पे काम कर रही है. मतलब what we are working on is the same. We have an app, we have product to improve the immunity of the person holistically. So we have a 6-fold product. So we check your pulse, we check your tongue, we check your different types of parameters, and we actually give a very personalized Prakriti-driven recommendation with respect to sleep, with respect to diet, क्या खाना है, क्या नहीं खाना है. With respect to music, with respect to yoga, if Panchakarma treatment is needed, and so on. And to increase the immunity, the current what we see on internet is या तो आप अलग-अलग supplements खाओ या multivitamins खाओ या आयुर्वेदिक काढ़ा लो या उस तरीके के हम देखते हैं. but actually you can increase your immunity very naturally. मतलब अच्छी नींद, अच्छी एक्सरसाइज और ठीक टाइम पे खाना, क्या खाना है, कैसे खाना है, एंड सो ऑन, दैट एक्चुअली कैन improve your immunity, and that is enough. That is enough. So future of health, right now we all are into the illness kind of field, but going further, I think we want to go more into wellness or well-being. So completely thinking about wellness, completely thinking about immunity. Your question is absolutely right for the youth, क्योंकि हमें अपने आप को संभालना है और आगे जाना है. Thank you.
Can I add a point?
Yeah.
So after Kumar.
Kumar, yeah.
Just one point I want to add. इम्यूनिटी सिर्फ खाने पीने से नहीं होती है, इम्यूनिटी आपकी एनवायरनमेंट से भी होती है. इम्यूनिटी अगर आपको इन्फेक्शन है और आपने अपनी दवाई का कोर्स पूरा कंप्लीट करा है, दैट इज़ ऑल्सो इम्पॉर्टेंट. तो जैसे वन हेल्थ कहा जाता है ना, उसमें आपको ये पता होना चाहिए हमारी एनवायरनमेंट के लिए हम क्या कर सकते हैं, हम हमारे एनिमल्स, हमारे जो पैथोजेंस जो हमारी बॉडी में आते हैं, जब तक हम उनको नहीं अंडरस्टैंड करेंगे, हमें इम्यूनिटी का कॉन्सेप्ट, ऑफ कोर्स जो डॉक्टर जोशी ने कहा दैट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट, बट उसके अलावा वी नीड टू नो आर एनवायरनमेंट, आर पैथोजेंस ऑल्सो, कि वो हमसे ज़्यादा स्मार्ट है सर. हम अगर इम्यूनिटी स्ट्रॉन्ग कर रहे हैं और दवाइयाँ हम गलत तरीके से खा रहे हैं तो वो हमसे ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग हो जाते हैं. सो ऑल दैट अवेयरनेस एंड सेंसिटाइजेशन, उसके लिए आपको साइंस का स्टूडेंट या साइंटिस्ट होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, बट बेसिक चीज़ें पता होना चाहिए कि हम एनवायरनमेंट को टैम्पर कर रहे हैं, उससे हमारी इम्यूनिटी कैसे ख़राब हो रही है. अगर हम गलत तरीके से दवाइयाँ को हम वेस्ट कर रहे हैं या वेस्ट वाटर में डिस्चार्ज कर रहे हैं, उससे कैसे हमारा हेल्थ ख़राब हो रहा है, और हम पैथोजेंस को कैसे और ड्रग रेजिस्टेंट बना रहे हैं. सो इट ऑल कम्स ऑन वन हेल्थ.
Thank you. Dr. Thiagaraju.
I think our friend asked about the future of this immunity. COVID has taught us, like, it affected some people and it didn't affect some people. For example, I ended up with no COVID infection for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 waves. Most of my family members had. But you name some simple cold, I'll get it. So my probably genome is different, and probably Santosh's genome might be different. So the genome sequencing could be, is coming up to the mass level now, and based on the genome sequencing, maybe we can have an immunity profile of who's going to be affected, who can be affected, and probably we can make a custom designed vaccines for these kind of people. Okay, you are prone to this, and we'll have a vaccine for you for B, E, F, and G, something like that. I think genetic medicine, genetic sciences are going to play a large part in future.
Right. So in summary, we can say we have to do active ways, passive ways of doing it, special attention, or you change your lifestyle. So basically, system and surrounding, both should be taken care of to gain the proper balance. Okay, now backside there.
And also know your genes.
Yeah, obviously. Back there. Yeah.
So my question is to Dr. Joshi. So we have a common notion that Ayurvedic medicines do not have any side effects. So how far is it true? So if you allow, I have a personal experience if I can share. I was diagnosed with osteochondritis desiccation, and when I reached to AIIMS Delhi, so there I realized that it was the Ayurvedic medicines that could have been there could have been the side effects of Ayurvedic medicine, and because of which I was facing the issue of osteochondritis desiccation. So I want to know that is it true that Ayurvedic medicines do not have any side effect?
Very tricky question. So I'll not stick to allopathy, Ayurveda only, but homeopathy, all kinds of pathies. All pathies have pros and cons. So whether this pathy has side effects or not, that has not. So all pathies have side effects, first of all. Mr. Patel talked about the clinical trials, right? So कितने clinical trials के बाद कोई medicine market में आया है, whether it's Ayurvedic or allopathic, और वो कितने diversified पॉपुलेशन पे टेस्ट किया गया है, मतलब उसके बाद ही पता चलता है कि किसी पे साइड इफेक्ट होगा कि नहीं होगा. Because Ayurveda has been in India for last 5,000 years, we feel and we, so I'm talking about as a data scientist now, we feel that it has been tested on so many people, and so it is regulated, and so it does not have any side effects. But again, the system is so personalized and so subject driven. There could be cases where there will be side effects. For example, Sir talked about genetics and so on. Similarly, in Ayurveda, there is Prakriti based. So if Vata person gets medicine of Kapha person by some mistake, then there will be side effects, right? I hope I have answered your question, that there will be pros and cons, and but you have to make sure that where you are going, I mean, AIMS Delhi is the best, but where you are going, how you are treating yourself, and actually rightly said, whether you are doing the course in a complete way. So taking the medicines on time, in quantity, along with all the pathya, and so on. So whether you are following it up or not, so that makes side effects happen or not happen.
Thank you.
Can I just add one point? It's a very large question, actually. It's sometimes it's not only about the medicine or the system. You have to look at the formulation, how pure is the drug, is there any impurities in the drug? So all these things matter. So while hunting for a water purifier, I came across in Amazon, there is, for 300 rupees, I have a TDS meter. So I'm going to use that and see whether my water is going to be pure. And similarly, the engineering fraternity, if it can bring innovations in checking the drugs purity at your, say, kitchen, at your dining table, so that would be great. So this is my request to the engineering faculty.
Thanks.
So I'll just answer it very simply, and adding to what Dr. Joshi said, right? Whether it's allopathic, homeopathic, or Ayurvedic, अगर आप पानी भी ज़्यादा पी लेते हो तो नुकसान करता है, पानी कम पियोगे तो भी नुकसान करता है, right? So what you are putting, and there is always a threshold of every single thing. Whether it's Ayurvedic medicine, काढ़ा या कुछ भी, आप एक क्वांटिटी से ज़्यादा लोगे तो वो बॉडी को नुकसान करेगा.
Next question. Yeah. Yeah, so students from international community, they'll be asking some questions. Please go ahead.
Okay, so my name is Atanu Roy. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm an international student over here. So my question is that as the future of healthcare solutions will be digitized in the future, and as we're moving more and more towards AI and machine learning to be used, and we're getting connected more and more to the internet, what is your plan as a startup and bringing out more devices in the future for monitoring solutions and other stuffs to ensure data and digital security, and what technologies can be used to prevent these security breaches and protect our privacy?
Very pertinent question. Thank you for that. So data security in healthcare space.
Yes, so ML driven, AI driven, and lots of data is getting created. I'll start slightly differently. So in the morning, I was just having fun with ChatGPT, and I asked a question about one of my friends who has received one award, right? So I entered into ChatGPT about him. I asked questions about him to ChatGPT, and it gave me completely different, some different person in the world. So when it is with respect to ML or AI, how you train that particular system makes a lot of difference. So the data which is used and so on. And so in our case, because we have a lot of data in the text format, we are trying to use that in different ways. And now we are getting data from the patients. We are using that in a completely different way, and we are running ML engine on that. So when we get data from different doctors or different hospitals or directly from common people, the data security plays the majority role. and now we are working with the EU region. So at their completely GDPR-based data security compliances we have to follow. The security happens at various levels. Maybe उसके लिए मतलब ये forum नहीं है कि किस तरीके का चाहिए. But when we go into medical domain, there are 3 to 4 types of users. One is a common user, which is a patient. One is a doctor, which is basically at a coaching level. One is more like an analyst, so which is taking data from many colleges or many hospitals or many locations and analyzing that. And then there is a managerial person who is making use of all this data in the commercial way. All right, so making data available to each of these users in a very controlled and anonymous way and so on. So if we see more like a HIPAA compliant system or a GDPR compliant system, then that it takes care of the complete data security part. So GDPR, ML, and say let's say that the whole system based on the AWS server, that makes a complete system completely secured, simple, right from accessibility point of view up to the security point of view. So I hope I have answered in a simple manner.
Thank you. Next question. Here.
Hello everyone. My name is Abhishek Thakur. I am from DAV College Kanpur. I want to ask question from Joshi sir. Sir, you told that we have to go with our roots, but in the modern generation or modern lifestyle, in corporates, we have to work for 12 hours, 14 hours of work, sitting in a computer table. So, and this lifestyle is a necessity, I think, and people are getting paid for it. So, aren't you contradicting your statement that we have to go to the roots by working 14 hours and giving a certain time of our cycle? And
so I think the question is clear, so please answer.
I think Dr. Tyagarajan has already answered this question in a way, but I will still answer. Yes, so आयुर्वेद में बोला गया है कि नाड़ी परीक्षा सिर्फ सुबह करना चाहिए, empty stomach करना चाहिए, and practical नहीं है, because the doctor has to earn, so they are taking pulse in the morning as well as in the evening. Similarly, 8 घंटे का sleep होना चाहिए, but काम करना है, as you rightly said, 12 घंटे काम करना है, उसके बाद खाना पीना भी है, फैमिली के साथ भी जाना है, फ्रेंड्स के साथ बात भी करना है, तो 12 घंटे प्लस 8 घंटे के स्लीप प्लस 4. So how do I manage? So basically that is exactly what is holistic. So you have to understand कि वो अगर 12 घंटे काम करना ही है, if that is the job requirement and if that job description you have accepted, तो वो 12 घंटे को आप किस तरीके से split कर सकते हो. Maybe 1 hour of work, 10 minutes of exercise, again 1 hour of work, again 10 minutes of break. Maybe break system can be implemented in between, maybe breathing exercises, in between small music. So वो करना ही पड़ेगा. So you have to make sure that you are accepting the traditional ways in the modern way. That's how we have to do it.
So
but we can
due
talk
to
offline.
lack of time, we'll just have one more question from backside. Red shirt.
Good evening, professors. Myself, Om Gupta, Vasudev Kudumbakam. G20 is a great innovation for world.
Question.
So, can the G20 motto, one earth, one family, one future, under the new implications of machine learning and artificial intelligence, as it is both boon and bane, and second, under biotechnology field for future of health and all areas, will G20 fix one earth, one family, one future in the upcoming era?
Sure. So I'll take one more clubbing question. One just. Here. That lady. No, backside. Yeah, that red. Give to that lady. Just let her ask one question. Okay.
Hello, thank you, teachers. So it was very mindful discussion, but मुझे ये लगा कि the discussion was all about so much human centric, कि हम लोग humans की help कर रहे हैं. You talked about कि we are doing so many clinical trials, but एक thought आता है कि clinical trials is happening on those rats. जो बोल नहीं सकते अपनी बात, सो हम कैसे बैलेंस कर सकते हैं बिटवीन द एथिक्स कि एनिमल्स भी अपनी लाइफ जिए जैसे
We got the question, yes. So
thank you.
For that, I will start because I also work with animals. So what do? We go through a very rigorous process, and we have to give response to committee, our ethics committee, that we are not using one single extra animal which is like just for fun. So exactly. So what we have to do, we have to be very careful about whatever resources, not only animals, even the plants. We should not destroy anything. So that's why the concept came system and surrounding. We have to create samanvay between both, and then only you can survive. So I think with this, I will try to close this session because of the lack of time. Panelists will be around. You can personally approach panelists during lunch time, during the exhibition time, and they will try to answer your question. Thank you very much for all the cooperation, and thank you. Big round of applause for all the panelists. Thank you. Okay, so now I will request Ms. Kumar to take the proceedings.
Thank you, sir. I express my sincere gratitude to all the panelists for their valuable contributions. This discussion has been incredibly informative, and we all have our takeaways. Thank you for sharing your expertise and enriching our understanding on this topic. I would now request Professor Santosh Mishra to kindly felicitate Professor Arun Shukla. Dr. Anirudh Joshi. Dr. Niti Kumar. Dr. K.A. Thiagarajan. Mr. Rahul Patel. Now, I request all the panelists to come forward for group photograph. That's fine, that's fine. Innovation Center stalls, science exhibition by Shiksha Sopan and Opportunity School students, exhibition on going beyond our confines, Chale Seema Ke Pare. Kindly pick up your lunch packets from the designated area outside and help keep the venue clean by disposing of all trash in the bins provided. Let's work together to maintain a safe and sustainable environment for everyone.